Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak with Dash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations. Much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. This is your brother High in the Posh coming at you with another lesson. And this lesson is going to be entitled BET is owned by the Redstone family, and Esau controls your image. Now, this here that you see on the screen on the right is Michael Redstone. All right, here is some of the Redstone family here, and they're Edomites, and you know that they're Amalekites, okay. And something that's interesting is that their last name is Redstone, right? Red representing who? Representing the Edomites, Esau. All right. So this is who runs your media, Jake. And this is who pushes this, this buffoonery and this madness amongst you. And I remember there was a time when BT got real tacky. I'm gonna use that word. It became real tacky after a point. The shows that would come on, somewhere around the early 2000s, because they acquired it. It stopped being so-called Jake owned. It stopped being Jake owned by 2001. It was sold to Viacom, and now and then it was sold to Paramount. And these devils, they own Paramount. So you have to understand that this is all by design. They didn't acquire this for no reason. They acquired it because they want to control your image. Remember, Esau is very crafty. This is Psalm 64 and verse 2. It says, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not." And the thing is this, when they have these meetings, the meetings is not to see how they can uplift you Jakes. How can we uplift these Jakes to put them in a better state? No. It's about how can we profit from their further destruction. Okay? This is what they're thinking about. It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? So everything they're doing is based upon a snare. Okay? And Tyler Perry tried to purchase it, and they rejected his ass. Also, Scott Mills tried to purchase it. They rejected his ass. They said, no, we're going to keep, and they offered them like something, 1 point something billion for it. And they said, nope, we're keeping the ownership of BET. We're going to keep the ownership of your image. We're going to keep being control of this. You can't do nothing without us monitoring it. This is Esau's mindset. Okay. It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. It's deep in wickedness, man. Esau, hey, you think Esau is, he thinks on a low level. No, he's not thinking on a low level. You have to understand, when he does something, there's layers to why he's doing what he's doing. This is Genesis 3:1. It says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which Yahweh power had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, hath the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. Let's go to the word serpent, which should be a nachash. See here. Yeah, serpent. Yep, nachash. Okay. Let's open this up. It says, nachash, it says, a serpent, snake, serpent, image of serpent, fleeing serpent, a snake from its hiss, serpent. Okay. Let's go to the root word, which is the same thing. It says enchantment, divine, enchanter, indeed, Certainly learn by experience, diligently observe. And he's observed you, Jakes. He's learned what you like. He learns what entertains you. He learned the type of food you like and so on and so forth. And he made sure that he put things in there to be detrimental to you. Okay? Yeah, Jake likes comedy. They like to laugh. So that, they'll give you some buffoonery. They're not gonna give you that comedy for food of thought. They're gonna push out more so of that JJ type comedy, that buffoonery. You know? Enchantment meaning. It says enchantment, a feeling of great pleasure, delight. So he knows. let me go to the next one. The state of being under a spell, magic. Yeah, Jake is under a spell. Okay, and through that spell, you get a feeling of pleasure, but it's destructive. It's destructive. Okay, you know, the music you listen to, the 808s. You're like, oh yeah, this beat is bumping, but it's destructive. It's putting you in a carnal mind state. It's sorcery. Okay? You got to watch out, man. You got to understand these things, man. This is who owns why do they care about owning a black entertainment television so much? And they offer them money, billions of dollars, and they said, "Nah, we're going to hold on to this." Why? Because Esau wants to continue to make the decisions and to keep you in a low state. This man is the devil, and he knows who you are. Esau knows exactly who you Jakes are, man. The Redstone family, man. The Redstone, that goes back, like I said, that goes back to Esau, man. That goes back to Esau. The first came out red. All right? Hey, man. Matter of fact, let me get that, man. Let me get that to prove to you that the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, man. We may have new listeners, Verse 24. It says, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red. See, it described this color because it was unusual. He came out with that red pigment, like how those so-called white babies come out. He came out red all over. Okay, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau, Aisha. Okay, and ultimately, right, when you look at Rothschild, that name means what? Red shield. The Rothschild family who runs the earth, that means red shield. And it's funny the shield part is spelt like child, red child, right? That's who the Rothschilds are, the Edomites, and they know they're Edomites. And this the Redstone family, they're Edomites too. Okay, they're of the same people as the Rothschilds, man. This is why they have that power, because the Most High, the scriptures say that the Heavenly Father gave the earth into the hands of the wicked. Okay, let's get Job 9 and 24. It says, Job 9 and 24, it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Okay, right? The Lord gave them the power. He gave the scriptures say that he created the wicked for the day of evil, and the day of evil is fastly approaching, man. Okay, but while he has the power, he's making sure to set you Jakes up with set up a lot of snares for you Jakes and keep you in a destructive mindset. This is Psalm 62 and verse 4. It says, they only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Salah. They want to bring you down from that high place that you're on, that dignity that you had. They want to bring you down from that. Okay? They want to make sure you stay down. All right? And I was watching a few of these episodes of the old BET, And with Prince, and Prince was saying a lot of things here, man. He was going into some things, and even the rappers, the so-called gangster rappers, they sounded more intelligent. These guys here, DJ Quick, MC8, they sounded more intelligent. They weren't promoting the gang life. They were just kind of speaking about what was going on. So it's a complete difference than what we see today. It's a good interview, man. Prince said a lot of things in here too.
There's a lot
exposing
in
Esau. He's exposing Esau.
Where should I begin?
Wherever you want to begin. It's your show.
All right,
I'm just here moderating.
We'll start with the cutting edge part. When a man is free, and it puts him closer to God. First of all, the path is open to get to God. It's probably in both of those magazines to keep me off the cover and out of their magazine, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to preach freedom, all right? And I'm going to preach the annihilation of contracts, all right? And see, without contracts, you ain't going to need lawyers, because nobody's going to be in court arguing about money, which has no power, ultimately. All right, so it's in their best interest to keep me out of those magazines. I completely understand. I only ask them to put me in there, and I will ask for what I believe I deserve, because I think I'm great. Just think I'm great, And we're still selling out arenas, and so somebody else thinks I'm pretty great too. And I don't say that to be arrogant. I say that to show that I love myself, and if more people did love themselves, they'd stop worrying about whether someone was cutting edge or not.
I want to get to this premiere video in a second, but let me just piggyback one quick question, then we'll go and stand by. We're about to premiere the new video, the latest video from the artist, in about 2 seconds here. Part of what your critics also say with regard to what we're discussing now is that while you may be making money because you control your whole environment now, you're keeping more of what you make. But that does not necessarily mean that you're selling more records than you used to sell. Isn't it not true, artists, that you're not selling the records at the level you used to sell them?
Absolutely true. Okay. But then again, we're not in as many stores. Some stores are player hating, and
people player hate.
That's right, yeah. Rightfully so. I expected this, but then again, I don't gauge success based upon the way other people gauge success. This isn't about SoundScan and C-SPAN and all that,
So anyway, he's going into the record labels, the record labels, and owning your own masters and so on and so forth. But you see, he was going into real topics. He was breaking things down, and somewhat educating Jake on these things. Not somewhat. He was educating Jake on these things. And these type of things is what Esau didn't want. He didn't want this kind of publicity on BT. He didn't want this type of stuff. Okay? He wanted more of that buffoonery. Freestyle Friday, which I used to love Freestyle Friday. It used to be an event for me. I used to love Freestyle Friday back in the day. But that's the type of thing Esau wants. He doesn't want you to be thinkers. Okay. So anyways, let me get this one scripture. It says, Psalms 38:12. It says, this is Psalms 38:12. It says, they also that seek after my life lay snares for me. And Esau's seeking after you, Jake's lives. Okay. He's trying to destroy you. All right. And he's trying to blame you too. So he made sure he gave you that gangster rap and that culture so that he can also ultimately blame you. And he's getting ready to come down with the sword. And they that seek my hurt speak mischievous things and imagine deceit all the day long. And this is all Esau thinks about is deceit, and snares. Scriptures say that they sleep not unless they cause some to fall. Okay. So anyways, Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect, and I'll say shalom.